everyone. Relationships can be a journey of ups and downs, twists and turns. But what happens when the road gets rough? Join Counselor Debby as she takes you through a time out with couples, families, friends concerning the hearts of the matter.
I believe that every story matters and every heart deserves to be heard. Let's take a time out and discover the heart of the matter with Counselor Debby.
Starting on Saturday, every Saturday, 8 a.m. For adverts and sponsorship, please contact 026 381 6967. Thank you. Hello everyone. Relationships can be a journey of ups and downs, twists and turns. But what happens when the road gets rough? Join Counselor Debby as she takes you through a time out with couples, families, friends concerning the hearts of the matter.
I believe that every story matters and every heart deserves to be heard. Let's take a time out and discover the heart of the matter with Counselor Debby.
Starting on Saturday, every Saturday, 8 a.m. For adverts and sponsorship, please contact 026 381 6967. Thank you.
Yeah, viewers out there, you are welcome again to Timeout with Counselor Debby, which always promises to be a very exciting time. It's a program that has been so educative, informative, and very, very transformative. And I told you that today we have a guest in the studio who is going to be helping us look out at a very, very crucial topic which we have ahead of us this morning, which is managing family expectations and boundaries. That's our topic this morning. So I want you to pick up your phone right now. I want you to call your friends. I want you to call your colleagues, your neighbors, even call your enemies, because everybody needs to learn. A lot of family are hurting. A lot of family are going through issues. You don't know. You might not have the right counsel to give them. You might not have the right information to give them. But such a program like this, you just hooking them up. It might be the miracle that I need to tell you that you have to do to share with your friends and colleagues and neighbors this morning. I have a very special guest with me this morning, and she's no one person. She's a Ghanaian Canadian. She's also the director missionary for Families for Today, for Tomorrow organization. And this woman, she's also an ordained minister of the gospel for over 40 years. I hope you can hear that. For over 40 years, not 4 days. So today we are so blessed to have her in our studio. She's also a volunteer missionary to Africa for almost 20 years. That means they are taking the gospel to everywhere you can think of. She's also currently working in Ghana, reaching out to schools, women and children in the rural areas through soul winning, children feeding, educational supplies, and needy kids, and community libraries. This woman with us in the studio, she's a seasoned conference speaker. She's also a counselor. You see, today you have two counselors in the house, so you can imagine what is going to be unleashing. She's also the convener of Mother's Cry and Deborah Arise, Call for Women and Pray for Nation. God is using her greatly to do great and mighty things. She's also a wife and a beautiful mother. There is no other person to join me in the studio but our own Reverend Mrs. Nana Ma Owusu. Ma, you are welcome to the studio this morning.
Thank you so much, Debbie. Thank you, Counselor Debby. I am grateful for this opportunity.
Well, in fact, we had to seize her because she's not staying in the northern region. So you are blessed to have her this morning. We have used one stone to kill two birds. They actually came for a conference here in Tamale, and we used it, to reach out to her to be a blessing to us this morning. Thank you so much, Doc.
You're welcome, Debbie.
Thank you for, she's not a stranger in northern region, actually. She has been coming and going out to, even some of us that stay in northern region, there are some places this woman knows that we don't know. She goes into the looks and cranny, the communities, and it's been so awesome. Thank you so much once again. We can't thank you enough for making our time to be with us this morning.
I am grateful, Debbie, for the opportunity. I am tired, but it's worth being here.
Yeah,
yes.
Thank you. So the topic we are looking at this morning promises to be so something that is going to be helping a lot of people. I'm so persuaded about that, because a lot of families are hurting, and external forces has actually broken into a lot of beautiful homes, beautiful marriages, beautiful union that should have still been together, and want to come in to see how we can, help with the information we are going to be dishing out this morning. And we would like to ask you first, among the series of questions we'll be asking you, what are common unrealistic family expectations?
Before I answer that, I bring greetings to your your audience. You see, marriage is something that a lot of people enter without understanding what it is. The beginning, if you look at the scripture, when God created the man and the woman, they were one. The Bible says they were one. They were naked with each other, and they were not ashamed. But as time goes on, marriages has become something like worldly. Marriage is spiritual. It is God ordained. Marriage is God ordained. But it has come to a place where people will just say, oh, I am growing, so I need to marry. And we are focusing on having children alone. But God has a purpose for each marriage. In the beginning, God created the man and the woman, and he gave them assignment. He gave them assignment for the earth, for this world, and expectation from each marriage. So therefore, when we come to the place of marriage, we should always look back from the beginning. Why are we separated in our thinking? A woman goes to marriage with an idea of what they want. I want a man who can supply me, give me a car, give me a house, give me this and give me that. A man goes to marriage looking for a woman that can cook, clean, bear the children, and all that. These are all unrealistic expectations. When we are in a marriage, you have to look at your circumstance and your situation and see that what is it that we have. For example, if you're a woman married to a simple young man who is also building their life up, you don't force the man to do things that they cannot do. For example, you want the man to buy you a car right away because your friends have a car. It's unrealistic. That man cannot afford
it.
Right?
And I think that's why some of the men have to go extra mile, even beyond what they can afford.
Then you have a man who is married a woman and expecting the woman to do everything. I have seen women pregnant, their bellies are that far, and the man comes home and sits down and watch television and expect the wife to come and put the food on the table, bring water to wash his hands, bring water to drink, and it is so unrealistic in this day and age even. Because you are one, you do things together. That is how the home will be built. But if everybody is pulling each other, we are destroying each other. So, unrealistic expectations in marriages are asking things that is beyond what you can afford, what you can do.
Thank you.
Or pouring too much on one person.
So I think this bottle out to, I think family have to prioritize their needs.
Yes.
So it's very, very important.
Yes.
The man must know what is expected of him to do, and the woman too must know. Even children are not left out of this.
No.
Because everyone is a stakeholder. The children in the house, they are stakeholders. The wife is the stakeholder. The man is the stakeholder. So I think if some of these things are defined even before the beginning, and I think that's where it comes to play, that during courtship, these are some of the things that couples to be need to fashion out. This is what I'm going to do. This is what you need to do. But during courtship these days, that's where the union begins. A lot of people, that's when they are caressing themselves, going to the corners, kissing, hiding in the plant. So we are encouraging you viewers out there, if you have not yet noted, if you are not yet settled, I hope you can learn from what our guests have said today. So we don't need to have unrealistic goals. We need to come down to the head to be able to know what is better of us. Thank you so much for that insight. So we'd like to also ask you, why are boundaries essential in family relationship?
Oh, that is very, very crucial. You see, if we are going to be successful in our marriages, we need to know which one is the no-go areas. Now, for example, the Bible calls the woman to submit to the husband, and the husband to love the wife. Now, how do I submit to a man who is abusing me? He's abusing me to submit to him. It doesn't work that way. You see, when you love somebody, the person automatically submits to you. So it is very, very important that the men know their role of showing their wife's love. Now, what is loving your wife? Loving your wife is basically joining together as one, as scripture said, and doing things together. Doing things together. Your wife is you, you are your husband. So what is it that we have to do together? We work together. So boundaries are like, it is a no-go zone. I was watching a program and the man said, my wife and I, we discussed that there is a no-go zone of talking about divorce in our marriage.
They have spelled it out for me.
We spelled it out.
Good.
Once we enter, there's nothing like, I am tired, I am going to my mother's house. You cannot send your wife away. That is a boundary. Another boundary is finances. I remember when we got married earlier on in life, my husband and I, we set a boundary in our finances. We put our monies together and we say that, okay, we have to take care of our families, our parents. So this is how much we want to give to everybody. So if I'm giving 200 cedis to my mother, my husband is giving 200 cedis too.
Equally.
Equal.
Good.
That is a boundary.
That's good.
Or if there is emergency, we come together and we talk about it. And we know how much is going out. Now, not one person taking all the money and squandering it.
At all.
Yes. So it is good to have boundaries. How are we going to spend our money? It is good to know how are we going to raise our children. Understand? So these things are very important. Now, when it comes to parents coming to visit, do one person just get up and call the mother, Mama, please come. No. It is, the boundaries are discussions, talking about what do we want and how do you want it. We see that in Africa here, parents of most of the time, the men, they do control their children's marriages, and so the mother can just come in anytime. And no. The Bible says the husband, the man will live and cleave to the wife. So cleaving to your wife is very, very essential in marriage. If there's a couple that does not cleave to their wives and to their husbands and they want to do anything, that is where the confusion is. So you have to know how many times do we allow our parents to come and visit? Or do we go to visit? It is important. You talk about those things so that they don't come in to make things worse for you. So setting boundaries of what we do's and don'ts that is discussed in agreement makes it easier and successful, and you will stick to it.
And I think it also will help the family to reduce a lot of conflicts to come in.
Yes, it reduces a lot of conflict. Like, for example, those of us who lived in abroad, you could hear your father or your mother call you and say, Counselor Debby, you know, there is a land here. Why don't you come and build? And if you are not careful, you see the man is building in his village without the knowledge of the wife. Or the wife is building without the knowledge of the husband. I have to build a house for my mother. When you begin to do that, you are letting the families, separating the husband and wife.
Breaking them apart.
You're breaking them apart because this man, his mother or his father called him secretly without the knowledge of the wife or the husband. You know, this secret calls that comes in, and then the pressure that is on the person. If it's the wife, there's pressure and trying to get the husband to give her money so she can do what she wants. Or if it is the husband is secretly sending money that they have put together away to build something. That is a no-no. For me and my husband, we agreed. Everything we did, we agreed on. I remember years ago, I faced the same situation where my mother said, would you like to build me a house? And I said, Mother, I will discuss with my, you know. So whenever we have a call from our background, our extended family, our mothers and our fathers, what I will tell them is, I will discuss with my husband and I will get back to you.
Yes. And I think that's where it's very important when we have oneness.
Yes.
Openness in our union.
That stops them from calling. Because once they know that, oh, I cannot just pull this person aside and get them to do things for me, they stop.
They stop.
But once they can put a wedge between you and your husband or you and your wife, that's it.
And that's why they will keep calling.
They'll keep calling.
After
they will destroy your marriage.
Another one will come.
Yes.
I think I was actually reading a story too recently of a man that actually genuinely loved his wife, but for the sake of wanting a better, you know, care for the family, he opted to sacrifice, I think, to go further abroad so that, you know, he would go and prepare the place for the wife and the child to come. And when this man left, in fact, the siblings of the man and the mother, they kept coming to this woman's house. They controlled her. In fact, they began to send messages to the man that, oh, this woman, oh, she's seeing someone else. She's doing this and that. And a couple that genuinely loved themselves, before you know it, there was separation.
Yes. So that is one of the things that we have to protect against. Once you marry, you see, it is only mature people that have to marry, not kids.
I say marriage is not for boys and girls.
Marriage is not for boys and girls. Marriage is for the mature.
Wow.
Mature doesn't mean somebody might be grown. But he's not matured. He still thinks like a baby.
That's true.
I know men who every little thing they call their mother. Or men, they ought to go and eat their mother's food.
Wow.
Listen, once you get married, you are married. If your wife's food is tasty or not tasty, that is what you decided.
That's
so
your choice.
That's your choice. You eat that. Once you marry, you have to leave. That doesn't mean we are leaving our parents without taking care of them.
No,
the thing is that your decisions, you are building a family of your own.
Sure.
See, you have to build a family of your own. And how you build it is how you will get it.
At least they have done theirs.
They have done theirs.
This is our own time.
Yes. You know, we have issues where somebody has given birth and says, I'm going to bring my mother. When your mother was giving birth, who was there? There was nobody. They raised us.
Yeah.
So for me, when I was giving birth, I didn't call my mother to come.
Wow.
It is me and my husband.
Wow.
And when we have 2 children, I give a shower in the morning. We're going to go to church. I bathe the first one. I give to my husband. Then he will take care. And then I take care of the second one. You know, so we have to work our own way, not to involve so much of our parents.
But I think it probably maybe is our African setting. Could it be?
Well, it is and it's not. I think that we just
believe that
grandmothers should be there to do it.
Wow, wow.
But grandmother has raised, for example, grandmother, I don't know how many children your parent. If grandmother has raised 10 children,
10 children.
why can't you raise 2 children? That's my argument.
Wow, wow. Thank you.
You will say, oh, they used to go to farm. Right? So they are tired. It is time for them to rest.
Sure. Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Viewers out there, I hope you are learning. So you look at your home, look at your family, look at where and what you need to adjust, to look at what you need to be able to restructure, because I believe it's never too late to make the wrong right. If you are doing something that is wrong and you see that it's eating up into your home, eating up into your marriage, you want your peace, you want serenity, you want tranquility, understanding and oneness between you and your spouse. I think it's very, very essential. You need to begin to watch out and readjust. It's never late to be right. Thank you so much, wife, once again.
You're welcome.
I would like to also ask you, what are effective ways to communicate your expectations? Because I believe sometimes some people have expectations and maybe in their expressing it, they don't know how to even put it down, and sometimes it also causes chaos and problems in their home.
You know, communication in everything is a key. The tone of communication is also very important. The timings are very, very important. For example, you need something from your husband. Let's say you need maybe 500 cedis from your husband for something personal. Right? You have to look at his timing, his mood. The man have just come from work. He is tired. He hasn't eaten. And then you just go to him and said, honey, can I have 500 cedis? I mean, hey.
Even if he has, he will say, I don't have at that time.
He's going to be angry. First of all, let the person feel comfortable. Let him eat, let him rest, and then communicate effectively. Sometimes he may say, oh, I don't have it now, but give me time. I will. Do not insist that because you just said it, the person have to give it to you.
Not at all.
The voice and the tone, especially with the women, we have to learn how to communicate well with our husbands. Some of us, we are very strong in communication. You know, and also the way we are raised. There's a way we all talk, and sometimes somebody would... I remember when we first married, my husband and I, we had a challenge in communication because he was raised, even though I'm raised as a queen mother, he also raised as a king in his session. And then with as a king there, you know he will not do anything. But my husband understands language more than I do. So sometimes I will say something and say, this that you said, it means that. And I'm going, it doesn't mean anything. I just said what I said. You know, it was a real challenge. But I also realized that eventually I got to know the way he expects me to speak. So I don't demand things from him when it is not right. I look at his mood. Is he rested? Is he in a jolly mood? And all that. And I express the need that, oh, daddy, please, this and this and this is needed. If it's possible, can I have the support to be able to do it? Then he will say, oh, so how much support are we looking at? Then I will tell him. He said, okay. So that is the way you have to make sure that the person is in a mood that will not spark any quarrel.
So I think it has to be that to communicate effectively, you need to be clear. You need to be direct to avoid aggressive behavior.
Yes.
Because I think there's an adage that says that the soft voice can even bring out beyond what you can.
The Bible even says that the soft answers. You know, soft. What does it say? It's
soft response.
Yeah, a soft response avoids contentions.
Contentions.
Right.
Yes.
Sometimes what you are saying is not, maybe shouldn't bring any contention, but it's the way you answered. It is the way you presented that was spark. Yeah, so always weigh your voice. Weigh the way you are communicating. Yeah, and then sometimes people say, oh, with me, this is the way I talk. No.
Exactly.
There's nothing like this is the way I talk in marriage. You have to learn how to communicate and respect. Make sure that your communication is coming with respect and love, not with aggression.
I think we just have to be intentional, because as a matter of fact, some people, they found themselves growing up in such environments where their father and mother have to yell at themselves before they communicate. The fact that they are doing that does not mean, sometimes this thing passes on.
And
I'm sure that as a counselor, this is one thing I have learned and I have observed, that whatever you are, especially when you are yelling, be sure that your children will even yell more than you. They will yell more than you.
That's true.
If you have to change, I think this is the moment and this is the time where you have to do that. Also, like Doctor also still tell us and the importance of clarifying assumptions. Assumptions sometimes can cause problems.
A lot. And I think we have an example of this morning. You see, sometimes we may think that this is what. I have seen issues where a woman has seen their husband walking with a lady or talking with a lady, or a man has seen his wife speaking with a man, and out of that jealousy, they go in and slap the other or beat the wife, simply because they think that he's having an affair. But at the end, they have realized that they have beaten their mother-in-law or their sister-in-law or brother-in-law. You see? So it is always good to clarify. Call the person and say, I have seen you be talking to this person for a long time. Who is this person? And also, I think to avoid troubles and quarrels, if there is something that you know, for example, this relationship thing, your cousin or something, and you are talking to that person, make sure you introduce the person. You know that, oh, this is my cousin from so and so and so that have come to town. Bring the person home and let that relationship be built, so that there's no assumption that, oh, you know, this is so and so. Or other things is, I'm assuming that my wife will do this. My wife will have gone to work, and I'm assuming, maybe you didn't help her, you didn't give money or anything, but you were expecting and assuming that it's going to happen. And it don't happen. Always be clear on it. Always be clear. I'm assuming that my husband will buy me this. Anything that you are not clear about, find a wise way, again, in a better mood, not in a quarrelsome voice. Who is this? Why did you do this? Questioning, that is always brings the quarrel. Always find out, my husband, what is this? Can you let me understand? I don't understand. Out of the way the person will talk, you'll be clear. Yeah. So it's always good to ask.
And I think we can also leverage on the technology we have now. Even though your husband is not around, you could just pick up your phone to just quickly ask something, a question. You know, sometimes while you are waiting, before you know it, a lot of thoughts are coming up to your mind. You are having one and two. You become fidgeting, apprehensive, anxiety, and all that comes in. So something like she has said, you are not sure of, always ask. And the tone, the voice, and the approach in which you are asking, it's very, very, very important.
Counselor, let me say something.
Okay, please.
There's something that nowadays young women are doing, which it's going to kill them. Not only young women, but the men are also doing. You take your husband's phone and you go through, you scroll through it to see how many women he has been talking to, or how many men he has been talking to. Look, it will kill you. Honestly.
You don't want to die before your time.
No, because you see, you are expecting him to be wise.
Okay.
But don't go look for trouble.
Okay, so I think that takes me to my next question. What are signs of unhealthy boundary crossing in families? So I think you can talk more on that.
That one is no trust.
Wow.
When you don't trust your partner, there is always a problem. Because then you'll be looking. Maybe there are certain things you know before you married. Maybe you know the man was a womanizer or this or that, right? So now you are married to the man, but you are not comfortable. So now you are looking, like I said earlier, you're looking through his phone to see where is he. You are always suspicious of his trips. Is he really going to, if he says he's going to Accra, but then he ends up in Kumasi.
Even though maybe probably the vehicle got spoiled, he didn't plan.
He hasn't called you. He's gone on journey. He hasn't called you. So you are suspicious. You see, when you live in a suspicious marriage, it's not healthy. It's not healthy at all. You are always killing yourself because you're thinking, this is happening, this is happening, this is happening. But again, you have to find out what has happened. If the person is traveling, you are not able to reach the person. Don't assume that maybe he is with another person, that is why.
No.
Until you have got a real proof, do not always assume that this is what the person is doing. Because that is not healthy for you. So trust is very hard to gain. Now, it is also difficult when you find out that your partner has broken the trust. See, we enter into marriage with trust. So please be careful you don't break the boundary of trust between you and your spouse. If your spouse trusts you and know that you are so faithful, you will not cheat on him or her. And eventually they come to know that you have done something that will make him or her think twice, you are breaking the boundary of trust. And it's going to be very difficult to regain that trust. So it is very important, it is crucial that we protect trust in our marriage. Many a times, people want to do things and hide it. Not only in having an affair, but even trust in money. Can your husband trust you to give you so much money to keep or to do a project without you spending it
Using it for something else?
for something else? So those are some of the things that makes people apprehensive in their marriage. So we have to be work together. Working together is always the best in marriage if we are going to be successful.
I'm sure viewers, you are learning so much this morning. If you would like a recap of this, I think we'll be posting it on our YouTube channel at Counselor Debby. Timeout with Counselor Debby. It's very, very, helping a lot of people at this time. So you can log on to our YouTube channel so that you can rethink, you can analyze, and you can, listen to all of this again. So keep your comments coming in, keep your messages coming in. They are going to be getting response because this is real conversation, real connection, and real heart. And we would like Doc to also tell us, how do you set boundaries without feeling guilty?
Oh, as I said from the beginning, boundaries are a necessity in marriage, okay? You don't have to feel guilty.
Okay.
Once it is discussed.
Okay.
See, the boundaries doesn't have to be one-way boundary.
Okay.
For example, what is one-way boundary? One person will say, I don't want to see your parents in my house.
No, it's not about you alone.
It is not about you alone.
It takes two to tango.
It takes the two. So once the two of you discuss and both of you have agreed, there should not be guilt there.
Okay.
Your extended family will say, oh, so now you are married. You are casting me out. He says no.
No.
It is a protection. It is a protection for your home.
So we need to shield what is ours.
That's right.
That's good.
If you don't shield it, anybody will come in and teach, do whatever.
Okay.
For example, you have children. There's a way you want your children to live. You training your children certain way. What time they should eat breakfast, what time they should go to bed. Don't eat candy, don't eat cookie or whatever. You know? And then you are building this with the children. But then suddenly a family member comes to the house and then takes the children out. Time for them to sleep. He says, come kids, especially grandparents.
Grandma and grandpa.
Sit, let's watch TV.
Because they believe those are the people they need to cling to. Exactly.
Don't eat candies now. Grandma comes, the children have eaten all the jar of candies.
So we need to be gentle.
You have to be gentle. And so don't feel guilty. When you see that those boundaries are being broken. You communicate effectively.
That's good.
Without feeling guilty that this is the way
it is. This will also help us to also want to know, how do you handle resistance from family members when setting boundaries? It's like, you know the next question, you're just eating into it.
Yes, I mean, family members have to accept it. You have to be strong in your decision making. When they know that you are strong in your decision making, they will eventually stop. There was a time people will call me, like my family members, anything that happens in Ghana whilst I'm away, they'll call me at a certain time. And sometimes in those days, it's not today that everybody has a cell phone. You have to go to the post office to book a time. And then when they call, I have to be the one to receive it and pay for it. And 1 minute at that time was $8 for a minute.
A minute, $8.
A minute, $8. So if I speak with a person for 5 minutes, that is $40. And then they will call me at an odd hour, like 2 a.m.
Wow.
As soon as they get up here,
they know the time difference.
They don't know the time difference, they just call. So one day I said to them, number one, nobody should call me at this time of the night. You don't know what time I came home from work. So don't call me. Even if my mother is dying, take the person to the hospital. Because I don't have a jet, even if to come down. And if it's money that you need, I cannot go to the bank at the hour that you are calling me. Don't come and give me a heart attack. So don't call me at this time of the night. Number two, I am not receiving any more collect calls from anybody. Because that $40 that I have to take every time you call, if I send you that money at home,
it will do something.
It will do something.
Wow.
You see, so once you do that, and they know you are... So one of the time, one of my sisters called, and immediately I picked the phone. She said, oh, I am so sorry, sister. I am sorry. And she put the phone down.
Wow, she just remembered.
She just remembered. So you have to be strong. Don't break it, because they will test you. They will really test your decision. The decision you and your husband have made. Especially the mother will say, I am the one who gave back to you, and they wanted to make you feel guilty. No. Say, yes, mom, you did. But now, I will come to you. Don't worry. I'll come.
Okay.
That's all.
Okay, thank you so much. Our time is fast spent. We wish we could go on and
I know.
But I'm sure one of these days we would like to bring you back on the show and we will share more. But before we go, we would like to know, how do we balance family obligations with personal needs?
It is difficult. You mean extended families and the family? Yes. Again, your first family comes first. Your immediate family comes first. If anybody calls you or presenting a need, yes, don't say to them immediately, I can't do it. Just let them know that, one, I am going to discuss with my spouse, and then see, will we be able to do it? Because sometimes it is not an emergency. If it's emergency and you can handle it, you handle it immediately. But if it's not emergency, do not take the bread on the table for your children to go and give it to your extended family. Because there are some people, who have made up their mind that it doesn't matter. They are married, they have their husbands or they have their wife, but they also call their brother or their sister for a need. It is important. That is why I keep saying that boundaries are important. If we have to give to somebody in the family, we know when to do it. And when we do that, family members will not bother us so much. So your personal need comes first, which is your first family, and then whatever you can do for the extended family, you do it when the time comes. Always let them know, I am sorry, I cannot do this right now, but eventually we will get there.
Thank you so very much.
You're welcome.
I think it's very also important for one another to, especially the men, to see the wife as themselves, because that's the principle that will make marriage function appropriately. That one of the things you can do is total acceptance, complete and identification, knowing that you have become one. Because it's very, very important. As we take the last one, as we finish right now, I'd also like you to share with us briefly a personal goal strategies for managing family expectation. We come with this one.
Well, I think that for me, personally, like I said earlier on, there are things that my husband and I, we did. We set up boundaries for ourselves. We agree on what we would do and don'ts. How are we raising our children? What school do we want our children to attend? And these are some of the things that helped us. We raised our daughter she went to a Christian school to a certain point, and then it got to a point where we realized that no, she's not doing well. Now, instead of arguing on it, we sat down and we said, what do we do? Can we move this child? So eventually, initially it was a struggle, moving the child from a Christian school to another, but then we agreed. What is important? The child is important. Her education is important. So in every conversation, we have to look at what is our ultimate goal. What are we going to reach out to? Is it better for us? Will it better our lives? Will it better our home? And when that happens, then we can, settle. So that is the way I think that it goes for us.
Such an amazing moment in the studio at the ZAR TV with our own very, very, very Reverend Dr. Amma with us today. So I'm so sure you have learned so much. Lastly, it points out that there should be agreement in all that we are doing as spouses. Let there be agreement. Let's always find a common ground where we can always reach to compromise, to know what is good for the family. It's not all about us. So sometimes we need empathy. We need to feel for one another. Thank you so much. It's been in fact, it's as if we should not finish, but we need to go. On behalf of one of our sponsors, he has actually given a gift voucher to just shop at the supermarket just very close to us.
Oh, wow.
So we'd like you to just accept it. It's a token.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
God bless
Thank
you for
Thank
coming.
you.
So
I
viewers out
appreciate
there,
it.
thank you.
Thank you
for coming. Your last word.
Viewers, I just want to encourage you, especially those of you that are married, that marriage is beautiful. It is God's own institution. As God, go back to the beginning. The beginning is one man and one wife. And cleave together. Make sure you agree. Yes, there shall be different thoughts and discussions and all that. But agree to disagree. Or disagree to agree. Whatever you want. But let there be peace in your home. There's nothing like having a peaceful relationship. And the young ones that are coming, especially the young women. These days, a lot of young women are looking for already made men. There is nothing like already made men. So girls are going after married men. I'm asking you to stop, because most of the girls are accumulating curses over their lives. If you break somebody's home and take their husband because you want a man who will care for you, you are bringing curse over your life. But look for a young man who equally has a mind and has a future, bright future, and work with him just like we did. We have to marry our husbands young, and now they are who they are. So this is what I encourage you to do, and the Lord will bless you. Thank you for listening to me.
Thank you so much. So it's been an exciting time in the studio. Remain blessed. Keep learning until we come your way again next week on Timeout with Counselor Debby. Take care and still blessed. God bless you.
6967. Thank you.